Once upon a time, in a small, picturesque town, lived a young couple, Anjali and Arjun. They were deeply in love and had recently tied the knot in a grand wedding ceremony. The entire town had come together to celebrate their union, and the newlyweds were overwhelmed with joy and excitement. After the festivities, Anjali and Arjun couldn't wait to retreat to their honeymoon suite to consummate their marriage. As they entered their room, they were greeted by a beautifully decorated space filled with candles and rose petals. Arjun gently closed the door, and they both sighed in anticipation. They began to undress each other, their hands trembling with excitement. As they stood there in their bare skin, they could feel the magnetic pull of their love, the energy between them palpable. They climbed into bed, their naked bodies pressed against each other. Arjun kissed Anjali tenderly, his hands exploring her body as if it were a work of art. Anjali moaned in pleasure, her fingers digging into his back. They continued to explore each other's bodies, their passion growing with each touch, each kiss. Finally, Arjun entered Anjali, and they both gasped at the sensation. They moved together in perfect harmony, their bodies synchronized in their lovemaking. The room was filled with the sound of their moans and the rustling of the bedsheets. As they reached the climax, they both cried out in ecstasy, their bodies trembling with pleasure. Afterward, they lay in each other's arms, their chests heaving as they caught their breath. The room was filled with a sense of love and satisfaction, the air heavy with the scent of their passion. But little did Arjun know, Anjali had a secret. Before their wedding night, she had made a promise to her college friend, Rohan. Rohan had been her closest confidant throughout college, and they had shared a deep emotional bond. During their final year, they had made a pact that if neither of them were married by the time they turned 25, they would consummate their relationship. Anjali had turned 25 just a few months before her wedding, and Rohan had been persistent in reminding her of their pact. Unable to resist the pressure, she had agreed to meet him on her wedding night after her wedding night with Arjun. As Arjun drifted off to sleep, exhausted from their passionate night together, Anjali slipped out of the room. She had arranged to meet Rohan at a secluded spot near the beach. Her heart pounded in her chest as she approached the meeting place. When Rohan saw her, he was overcome with desire. He pulled her close, his hands roaming over her body. Anjali couldn't deny the excitement she felt in Rohan's presence, and she knew she was about to break her husband's heart. They retreated to a nearby cottage, the waves crashing against the shore, providing a sensual backdrop to their encounter. As they undressed each other, the memories of their college days came flooding back, their shared secrets and laughter. Rohan entered Anjali with a passion that matched her own. They moved together in a dance that was both familiar and new, their bodies recalling the years of friendship and longing. As they reached the climax, they both cried out in ecstasy, their bodies trembling with pleasure. Afterward, they lay in each other's arms, Anjali's mind racing with thoughts of her new husband and the promise she had just broken. Rohan held her close, whispering words of love and regret into her ear. As Anjali made her way back to her room, her heart heavy with guilt, she knew that she had to come clean to Arjun. She entered the room, found him fast asleep, his face peaceful and innocent. She hesitated for a moment, her heart aching at the thought of shattering their newfound bliss. But she knew that honesty was the foundation of a strong marriage, and she had to tell him the truth. Anjali gently shook Arjun awake. He opened his eyes, a sleepy smile on his face. But as he looked into her eyes, he could see the guilt and torment written all over them. He sat up, his expression turning serious. "What's wrong, Anjali?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. Anjali took a deep breath, her hands trembling. Arjun, there's something I need to tell you, she began. And so she told him everything about her promise to Rohan, their secret meetings, and the fact that she had spent her wedding night with him before coming back to Arjun. She held back no details, her voice choked with tears. Arjun listened in shock, his heart breaking at the betrayal. But as he processed the information, he realized that Anjali had come clean because she valued their marriage more than her own secrets. He took a deep breath and said, I understand why you felt the need to fulfill your promise to Rohan, but I'm hurt that you didn't trust me enough to tell me before our wedding night. We need to rebuild the trust we had, and I'm willing to work through this together. Anjali burst into tears, relief washing over her. Thank you, Arjun, she whispered. Over the next few weeks, Anjali and Arjun worked on rebuilding their relationship. They spent hours talking, sharing their fears and dreams, and rediscovering the love that had brought them together in the first place. As for Rohan, Anjali decided it was best to cut all ties with him. She knew that her future lay with Arjun, and she didn't want to risk jeopardizing their marriage again. Rohan understood her decision, and they parted ways on amicable terms. In time, Anjali and Arjun's love grew stronger than ever. They learned from their past mistakes and vowed to be open and honest with each other, no matter what challenges life threw at them. And as they grew older, they looked back on their wedding night with a mixture of joy, sadness, and gratitude, knowing that it was a turning point in their lives, a night that had taught them the true value of love and trust.
Please subscribe to my channel Lessons of Life and press the bell notification icon.